Hey guys, just to let you know, I won't be putting a video up on Monday as I'm putting this one up today. The reason why I'm putting this one up today is it's because it's special. And it's special how? Because a company by the name of Hohem reached out to me and they wanted me to review their latest and greatest smartphone gimbal. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be unboxing the brand new, and I mean brand new, Hohem iSTEADY V2 smartphone gimbal. This is not even on the market yet at the time of making this video. I have seen it available for pre-order at B&H in the States, and it's listed for $129.99. Comes in black and white. We have the black version here. Now, I do want to let you know, Hohem sent this to me. I did not pay for this. I also want to be totally upfront with you in the fact that I do not make a penny if you buy one of these. Now, I did ask for a discount code for you guys. Let's have a look at this iSTEADY V2. Some of the key features to this: it has built-in smart tracking AI sensor. It has auto face tracking, and you know the best part? You don't need to use the app. Boom! That is so cool, because now you can do live streaming and you still have tracking available to you because you don't need to use the app. That is amazingly handy. This has gesture control. This has portrait mode, landscape mode. It has a built-in LED light with 3 power settings to always make sure you're looking your best. That could be a very handy feature. I can't wait to check that out. And I mean, look at the size of the box. You know this thing is small and compact. Let's have our first look at the Hohem iSTEADY V2. Well, let's get into this box. Get my little handy little X-Acto blade there and see what we actually get in this box. Get some plastic off there. Now, I don't have any of their products before. I know of this company, but I don't own any of their products, so let's get that out of the way. But yeah, let's have a look and see what we get. Our first look: make the moment, enjoy it. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, I'm loving the color scheme, and I'm liking the layout of this so far. Okay, we got a little package here, and there is all our goodies there. I'm going to set this aside here. A bit of paperwork there. First off, we get a nice little tripod here, and it's got some rubber on the bottom of the feet so it won't slip. That is handy. I'm glad they thought of that, because when you don't have the rubber on the bottom, it's really slippy. So that's a cool little tripod there. It also comes with a recharging cable, and it is USB-C. So glad it's USB-C. Charges so much faster. That is great to have in the kit. And we get our, look at the size of this. Look at that in my hand. Oh my God, I'm not used to a gimbal this small. This is really tiny. So, oh, you get your little stand, a bag of little candy as I call it. So that's what you get in the box so far. Let's have a look and see what we get in here. Oh, we get a nice little, kind of like a crushed velvet bag there. I like this gray color. It's handy. It's not really going to protect the gimbal. It will from nicks and scratches and stuff like that, but it won't protect from a big break. So you get that in the bag, and you get your wrist strap. So that is really handy that you also get a wrist strap. And let's check out this section. What do you get here? Oh, you get your basic kind of paperwork. How may I help you there? And basically just your guide. And you can see it's got all the basic information on what does what with this. So I'm definitely going to have to read about this, because like I say, I don't have any of the Hohem products. So it's all going to be new to me, including the app. But yeah, this is quite tiny. And one thing they've done is, look at on the top of the mounting for your cell phone. Now, this is just spring-loaded for your cell phone, but look at the top here. This has a video camera built into the top. It's got a lens into the top for the tracking. That is so cool. I've seen a lot of companies created an independent little tracking device that you can use for your cell phone, but it's not a gimbal. It's just a little lens like this on a tripod that'll allow your camera to track. They built it onto the gimbal. This little ring around the side, that's the light. So it's going to be really interesting to play with this. And as I say, it's not very big. We have a joystick on the front here We've got a couple of buttons here. One looks like a photo mode, video mode, and this one looks like it'll recenter and power. We have a telephoto or zoom control on the side, which from my understanding will also control focus, so you can push or pull. We have our charging port on the side. We have a tripod, standard tripod bracket mount on the bottom. And you have a little lock control here. And they've got kind of all my points numbered here that I think are just for the unboxing to tell you what's what. Because I have heard this seems similar to their Steady X, and you need to make sure everything is unlocked when you go to set it up, or the gimbal will just shut down and it won't connect to the Bluetooth stuff. So you need to make sure everything's unlocked when you're going to set it up. Now, you're going to have to register with the app. I don't mind. Most companies seem to be doing that, so it's not such a big deal. And as I say, there's a lock and a few controls here, but having the camera with the light here, that's a very interesting concept, and you can see how the whole thing is not that big. If you want to make it a little bigger so you get a little more in your hand, you can simply add the tripod to it and set it up. So that is very cool. This is the Hohem iSTEADY V2. Now, the battery on here, they basically say lasts anywhere between 2 to 9 hours, depending on what you're using. If you're using the LED light and you're using all the controls and got everything going, you're draining a lot of power. So the battery's going to last a shorter time period. Makes sense. If you're not using the LED and some of the other functions, then you can potentially get up to 9 hours of battery life, which is pretty good. Now, to recharge this from dead is supposedly about 2.5 hours. Now, before I can go really any further with this, one, I'm going to need to charge this up. Two, I'm going to need to download the Hohem Pro app because, like I say, I don't have any of their products, so I'm going to have to download the app. I'm going to have to get registered, and then I'm going to have to get the setup. So let me get that far, and then we'll come right back to it. That was a very easy little setup to do. You just download the app, get the app installed on there, and then open it up. You have to create an account, so you have to provide some information for that, and you need to give the app access to certain areas of your phone, like for photo and video and stuff. But yeah, it worked flawlessly, connected by Bluetooth without an issue. Yeah, I had absolutely no problem at all. So kudos to the setup process on that. Hopefully it remains that way for connecting, but yeah, it worked great. Now what I'm going to do right now is have a look at the specifications on this unit. You can pause the video right now and go over all the specs of this so you've got an idea what's going on. Now, to get into testing with this, I can't really sit at the table to give it an honest evaluation of, and come up with an opinion how good this thing is sitting here. So let's go for a walk, and we're going to go out and about, and we're going to do some basic testing with this because it's a gimbal. We want to see how stable this thing actually is and how good the footage comes out of it. So we're going to go for a little walk. And the first clip you're going to see is me doing a walk and then a run right after. And let's see how stable and how good this gimbal actually is. I wonder how stable the footage is going up and down stairs. We don't have stairs. We're going to challenge this thing even more. We're going to go up and down this bench seat set up here, and we're going to see how stable the footage is coming out of this. Let's get into it. And of course, the bright sunshine comes out on me yet again when I'm trying to do some video work. But what we're going to test now is how good does the control here, the little joystick, how well does that work? Let's try it out. It seems to be working quite well. It's nice and smooth. It's pretty quick. It's very responsive. Doesn't go as high as I'd like, maybe. Yeah, it seems to be limited in the height part, but it seems pretty good. Yeah, that part is functioning just well, and you can walk and move with it, and it works just fine. So the little joystick, not a problem at all. Don't have an issue with that. Let's try the zoom. Zooms in. a little clunky. It seems like it's choppy coming in and out. But that is your zoom footage. And when you're zoomed in, you can, on the app, change it to your focus point, and then you can change your focus versus your zoom. So you can add a focus to in focus. That creates a nice pulling effect that you can do with your focus. But it's just simply a matter of touching on the screen to get what you need. That's pretty good. Now we're going to see how well this AI tracking actually works. The little unit that's mounted on top. How well does it track? How well can it keep me? Let's check it out. You got to press and long hold it to turn it on. Give it the OK symbol. Now has it got me? Look at that. It's now tracking me. That is pretty good. Will it lose me though? Will it lose me or is it still there? Oh, look at that. Picked me right back up. That is cool. Let's try that again. That is amazing. But how good is it? Can it keep me? That is doing really well. So that is cool. I give that 2 thumbs sideways. What? Check that out. That is very cool function of it. Does it still have me in track? No, loses track when it does that. Easy enough to get back into track, give it the OK, and it's got me back in track again. Man, I give that 2 thumbs up. Whew, I love that. Won't keep you, but it's very easy to do to track you. You want it to stop tracking you? Then tell it no. You don't actually tell it no. It's simply that hand symbol shuts off the AI. That is cool. So again, OK. Stop following me. Ah, didn't get it that time. There we go. That, I must admit, is some pretty impressive tracking. That's using the AI up on top. Now let's try using the app for tracking and see how well it does versus using the AI camera. So you just got to turn the little hand thing on there. Start your record. You give it the hand signal. Puts a green box around your face this time, whereas the other one it doesn't. And yep, that picks me up on tracking quite easily. And then I can just simply cancel off that way, and it doesn't track me that way at all. So that's pretty cool. So you got 2 ways of tracking on this. The top one, amazing if you're doing live streaming because you don't need the app to run. That is amazing. Now, one other thing I will mention about on here, and that is you can plug your power into here and into your cell phone and charge your cell phone at the same time. So if you're running low on juice on your phone, plug it into the side. It's a USB-C, but you're going to need the adapter to get into a lightning, but it can do it. That is a great little feature, but we'll drain this out considerably. Have to be aware of that. So anyways, but allows you to still run and gun. Let's get back into the studio and out of this sun. The funny thing is, it had been cloudy all morning, all afternoon. The second I stepped outdoors, it was like bright sunshine, but yeah, there you go. You work with what you've got. But as I say, I'm quite impressed with this unit. Now, a couple of things that I did notice was, one that freaked me right out was when I was charging this up and I pulled the USB cable from my wall outlet USB, that I thought I broke this. I didn't realize that this came apart like that, and this is simply a little adapter to go from USB-C to USB. Didn't realize that at the time. It freaked me out when I saw this sticking out of my wall. But yeah, charged it up, no problem. Now, you guys saw the footage. It speaks for itself. You saw the tracking. You saw me walking, running, and stairs and jumping. I went over all the basic stuff that a gimbal should do and should do well. This one seems to really be focusing on tracking abilities. So that's why I really kind of went overboard on that, hiding and really moving around to see how well it worked. I was pleasantly surprised how well that worked. Now, I'm not just saying that because these guys gave me this, but honestly, if I watched other people's videos or got my hands on this to play with, would I buy it? I'm pretty sure I would. It surprised me. It's compact. It worked well. Problems that I had, things I didn't like. One of those things is the LED on top here. Press it once, level 1, 2, and 3. Press it again, turns it off. To me, nice in theory, but it doesn't really work. I turned off one of my studio lights so we can have a look at it, but there it is, close to me at level 1. At arm's length, do you even notice any difference? There's level 2, there's level 3. Maybe it makes it a little brighter, but it would have to come in closer like this, because at arm's length, where you're going to be basically vlogging, I don't think it's bright enough. Maybe in a very, very dark area, it would be, but yeah. So it's like 1, 2, 3. Interesting feature, not something that I find usable, and honestly, I don't find works very well, and it's simply going to drain your battery. That's my opinion on it. Maybe you absolutely love it, but in my opinion, it's not very usable. So, and it's a small hard light, but there you go. Okay, one was the zooming. You saw when I was zooming in and out, it was chunky. I don't know why. I tried multiple times. It just was not very smooth. It went smooth and then it just kind of jumped back and forth. I don't know why, but it wasn't really smooth in zooming. Now, I don't do a lot of zooming within the videos. I tend to walk forward or back versus zooming, but the cases that I do need to use it, I need it to function well, and it didn't seem to work very well that way. So that was one of the issues I had. You also saw in the video when I put my hand up to try and get it to stop tracking, didn't work. I did it a couple of times, it didn't work. Now, I will say 95% of the time, the OK worked every time. I didn't have an issue with that, but the stop, probably about 95% of the time it worked, 5% it didn't. And sometimes I had to do it a couple of times like you saw in the video. So I'm not quite sure if it can be fixed to make it a little more accurate, but honestly, it worked very well. The thumbs up going into landscape and the thumbs right, it worked well. Now, I would prefer a single thumbs up and a single thumb to the right. Reason being, if I've got my coffee in my hand, or me, a tea drinker, a tea in my hand, and I'm doing that, I want it to go landscape, and I want that to go into portrait mode. Well, I still holding my drink. Otherwise, I got to put it down so I can do this, and this actually kind of feels awkward. This is okay. This kind of feels weird. But I give them kudos. It works, and it worked well, as you saw in the video. So those are kind of my only little nitpicky points at this point. I am going to do another video going far more in depth, because this has a lot of different options and tools and things available. Like if you hold this button, if you hold this button versus a button, if you hold the button and then click the other button X amount of times, it'll go from pan to pan follow to all lock. There's all those different controls built in this. Now, that's another thing that I'm not a big fan of, is double click, triple click, quadruple click. Up to 7 times clicking on a button sometimes. It can get a little annoying because to try and get the clicks right. I'm not the greatest at doing that, so it's a little frustrating. I understand why they've done it. They've streamlined this down so you don't have all these extra controls. The other gimbals I'm used to have a lot more buttons that can actually do the controls on it. This one has basically hold this button, press this one, you know, up to 4 times for the different modes that it goes in, and then, you know, so you be aware of that you got to double tap, triple tap, quadruple tap sometimes to get the buttons. So it takes a bit to learn the buttons, but I think once you get used to it, it'll work very well. Now, I'm going to make another video and we're going to get in depth into this, and I will show you the app, and I'll show you what the app looks like if you're not familiar with it. This was my first kick at their app. It seemed okay to me, it worked well, but we're going to get in depth on this and do a more detailed review of all the different controls, all the different functions. This video would go way too long if I did that in conjunction with what I already did with the unboxing and everything else. This was just the unboxing and a quick review of the product. I highly enjoyed using this, and I look forward to using it again. And as I say, I'm not saying that because these guys gave it to me. I'm a firm believer, and this channel will always stand by an honest review. And if the companies don't like that, then I have no desire to deal with them. But these guys knew I was doing an honest review. I might have just butchered this, but they stood behind their product and let me do what I wanted. So I'm quite happy with that. As I say, I give it 2 thumbs up for landscape mode. Not quite positive the day this is coming out. It should be out shortly. And as I say, B&H, I know, had it on pre-order for $129.99 US. All right, that's it for this one. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're aware when I post new videos like this. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. 2 for landscape, 2 this way for portrait mode. All right, so until the next time.